Tonight, in this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinox Television, as the UN celebrates its 46th anniversary today, the United Nations representative in the country has told the government to do all it can to combat poverty in the country. And also in this newscast, circulation around Pika will impeded following the collapse of the bridge over the Kondi River. These are headlines, details and more just in a moment. Good evening to you, viewers. Welcome to join us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. Let's begin right away with circulation at Pika, which has so far become a veritable nightmare to commuters ever since the collapse of the bridge over the River Kondi, that is in the Douala Free Municipality. For Hansen Chanji, a reporter who traveled to the Pika locality here in the economic capital Douala, brought back reports of how commuters are coping. They are facing difficulty circulating, and as we can see on our screens, motorbikes are finding it difficult, as well as taxi drivers, especially in the week of heavy downpour. We surely shall be coming back to that report in our subsequent newscast. Now let's talk about construction works earlier announced by the Douala City Council for the rehabilitation of the road from Pharmacy Aquano and Pong Bangwa, that is yet to begin. The road, which has rendered circulation practically difficult as well, has prompted many to criticize the development policy of the Douala City Council. It should be noted that road users are still waiting for the work to commence, which the city or the Douala City Council had announced that it was going to begin on October 23rd, 2013. Still here in the economic capital Douala, inhabitants of Mbopi Civil, that is a neighborhood in Mbopi in the economic capital Douala, are decrying the high rate of insecurity and increasing number of handbag snatchers. They say they want the restoration of calm and security in that locality. For Hansen Chanji traveled to the Mbopi Civil neighborhood here in the city of Douala and brought back the following report.
This is the corridor of death, as baptized by inhabitants of Mbopi Civil. They now live in perpetual fear. They are frustrated and demoralized over the increasing number of bag snatchers and insecurity, where a handful number of persons have taken hostage the peace of locals. When choosing this corridor of death by 6 p.m. to find a way to your destination, you will be welcomed by the Hoodlums. They are reported to be professionals in snatching bags. When they seize these bags, they have many ways to hide. We saw an abandoned building with some rejected stolen items, such as bags, national identity cards, documents, and other valuables. Locals confirm that their security is not guaranteed.
Mais quand on l'arrête, qu'est-ce qu'on en fait? On va le libérer là devant? Qu'est-ce qu'on devons faire?
The chief of Mbopi Civil says some parents are accomplices to the hoodlums.
Ce sont les enfants de mon quartier, avec des mauvais parents.
She tells us that her strategy of auto-defense failed and that the forces of law and order have also failed to maintain security in the area. Mbopi Civil has a police post stationed few meters where the horrible actions take place. But locals are yet to understand why the acts are done unseen. This is one of their hideouts, an abandoned building here in Mbopi Civil, where all sorts of stolen items have been abandoned. Steve Ebule, Hansen Fonchanji, Equinox Television, Mbopi Civil.
Still talking about upsurge of insecurity in some parts of the economic capital Douala, a group of alleged hoodlums this afternoon harassed and made away with some 50,000 francs CFA from a journalist and cameraman of Equinox Television. Jean-Paul Chunyat and Mitterrandam were on an investigative report or mission on the increasing security in the Dakar neighborhood when they were suddenly surrounded by over 4 hoodlums. The men also took away their camera and only returned it after several hesitations. This is just one of the similar daily experiences of locals of the Dakar neighborhood here in the city of Douala. We surely shall be coming back to that in our subsequent newscast as well. Now we take you to the center region of the country to talk about the Minister of Housing and Urban Development that has promised hard times to contractors building public houses without respecting the required norms. Jean-Claude Mboenchu was speaking in Yaoundé today while opening a meeting on the follow-up of norms in the public building. Roland Akong will be telling us in our subsequent editions as well. Now, the 27 or 23% is the evaluation rate of the execution of public contracts in the Noon Division, that is in the West region of Cameroon. This figure was rated very discouraging by the local steering committee in Fumban, and as Jacques Ekwe Kinge tells us in the following report, it was during the third evaluation session of the council. His report.
The realization rate of public contracts in the Fumban Council stands at 23%, with 40% still expected to be completed. This was the outcome of an evaluation meeting held recently on the execution of public contracts. The delay has been blamed on the enterprises charged with the execution of the contracts, who are not usually present on the field. Authorities complained of enterprises taking on multiple projects which they end up not able to execute. The holding of the third session of the public investment budget in the ongoing financial year in the Fumban Council has permitted the acquisition by members of other methods of reorganizing the Commission. For the divisional delegate of the Ministry of Economy, Planification and Regional Development for the Noon, this disposition will permit an easy follow-up of the execution of public contract documents and a better evaluation of public contracts in the Noon Division. And to make this more effective, the National Anti-Corruption Commission, CONAC, has been associated to the Divisional Evaluation Commission of Public Contracts in the Noon Division for a better result.
Jacques Ekwekinge ending the report. Meantime, the Cameroonian government is envisaging to transform the University of Buea, that is in the southwest region of Cameroon, into the best institution of higher learning in the African continent. The Minister of Higher Education made the declaration while inaugurating a newly constructed building of the Faculty of Sciences of the University of Buea. But how possible could this vision become a reality? Derek Jato, a Buea-based correspondent, explains.
The Cameroon Minister of Higher Education visit to the University of Buea Faculty of Health Sciences was to inaugurate this equipped building. Addressing all present during the ceremony, the Buea University Vice Chancellor, Dr. Nalova Lyonga, thanked the head of state for the gift and added that she strongly believes that more structures will be erected for the faculty.
I think it is important that when we have a place like this, there should be an amphitheater, that there should be a teaching hospital, and we have a minister with a listening ear.
Minister Jacques Fam Ndongo, on his part, assured the Buea University family that the government is determined to make the Faculty of Health Sciences standard in all spheres. Cameroon Higher Education Minister further added that it is the government's wish to see the University of Buea stand as one of the best universities in the continent. And for this to happen, there are norms that must be respected.
For this to happen, quality assurance should be your watchword. Research activities have to be sharpened.
As Minister Jacques Fam Ndongo leaves Campus B of the University of Buea, he has made it clear that the Faculty of Health Sciences is expected to contribute her own quota of the additional 8,000 doctors needed.
Circulation at Pika, that is in the Douala Free Municipality, has been a veritable nightmare ever since the collapse of the bridge over the River Kondi. For Hansen Chanji traveled to the Pika locality here in the city of Douala to see how commuters are coping with the situation. He further paints the picture.
This is the river at Valley St. Thomas Kondi. The bridge over it has collapsed. Circulation here is a day's job. Circulation is paralyzed daily in this secondary road. Vehicles are stuck in water. Pedestrians have to pay some money in order to cross the river, whose bridge is reported to have collapsed months ago. Bikers need not be in a hurry when using this road. The people of this locality say the problem of Kondi Bridge began as far back as 2000, when water constantly overflowed to the main road. When there is heavy downpour, Valley St. Thomas in Kondi is a no-go area. It is this road that serves as an alternative to drivers from Yasa, Nyala, and other areas when there is congestion at Ndokoti. They use the road to go through Lok Baba, but now the road at Pekawit in the Douala 3 municipality at Valley St. Thomas is now a shadow of itself in this 21st century. Some youths have taken advantage of the situation and transformed it into an economic activity. However, they've called on the powers that be to remedy the situation. The population of Valley St. Thomas Kondi want the reconstruction of a bridge over this river for their daily lives to come back to normal. Alex Njongang, Hansen Fon Chanji, Equinox Television, Douala 3.
Thanks indeed for Hansen Chanji for that report. We take you to Yaoundé. The UN representatives in Cameroon have called on the government to fight against poverty in the country. They were speaking in the center region of the country today as the organization celebrated its 64th anniversary today. Roland Akong tells us more in the following report.
At the 68th anniversary of the UN in Yaoundé, the resident representative of the UN called on the government of Cameroon to consolidate efforts at fighting poverty and inequality.
The
message is very clear. Consolidate efforts at fighting poverty and inequality. Najat Rashid cautioned that there can be no stability, peace and security where there is no equitable development. 40% is the proportion of Cameroonians living below the poverty line. 3 million Cameroonians are hit by the scourge of hunger. And current trends suggest that it is unlikely that President Biya's country will achieve the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals set for 2015. Poverty is a lack of material or financial resources to satisfy the basic needs of individuals such as feeding, housing, healthcare, education, safe drinking water.
Roland Akong there reporting on the 68th edition of the United Nations Day. We remain in that part of the country to talk about the 3rd African Congress on Rice that ended in Yaoundé today. The 3-day event saw the participation of over 600 experts and authorities from the African continent to exchange ideas on how to boost rice production in Africa. The Congress is coming at a time when Cameroon is importing at least 600,000 tons of rice to meet national demand. The country can only produce 150 tons, which is said to be insufficient. Meantime, the mayor Ome Libong Lilim Jean Rene has officially been handed over control of the Ezeka Council that is in the Nyong and Kele division of the Central Region of Cameroon. The transfer ceremony was presided over by the DO of the Ezeka municipality, who was representing the senior divisional officer for Nyong and Kele. And Befokwa tells us more in the following report.
The divisional officer of Iseka arrived to commence the handover ceremony, which was held at the divisional office headquarters. Presiding over the occasion as representative of the senior divisional officer for Nyong Ekele, he thanked the outgoing mayor of Iseka, Samuel, for his service to the community. Mr. Samuel expressed his content that his mandate had been conducted to the best of his capacity before signing the necessary paperwork to relieve himself of duty. The divisional officer also completed the aspects of the registry pertinent to his presence before the incoming mayor, Libong Lilim Jean Rene, was recognized with the completion of the litigate protocol. The outgoing mayor, Samuel, then officially presented the stamp of the mayor of Iseka, an office key to Mayor Libong Lilim Jean Rene, consecrating his official installation to duty. The divisional officer for Iseka sanctioned the ceremony, bringing it to conclusion before Mayor Libong Liming led a small delegation to the Iseka Council to properly situate himself in his office to commence duty.
And Befokwa, the reporting on the official installation ceremony of the mayor of the Ezeka Council that is in the Nyong and Kele division, bringing us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. We thank you so much, viewers, for your usual keen attention. Wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs. Good evening to you once again.